Hello, everybody. This is Craig Bowden, Libertarian candidate for 1st Congressional District in Utah. And today I just kind of want to talk about an incident that involved somebody that I personally know when it comes to me addressing things in regards to reforms needed in law enforcement. So, earlier, this individual that I know, he was arrested for driving while under the influence. Now, unfortunately, that would be something that would be pretty grave, right? Nobody wants to have people under the influence of controlled substances or alcohol out on the roads. So we would think that, hey, police are doing a good service, right? Well, unfortunately, for this individual, they were not under the influence of anything. As a matter of fact, they had their blood work done, and there was nothing done. Now, the field sobriety test that was taken, the individual in question ended up having a little bit of an eye tick. And this is due to a medical condition from his multiple sclerosis. Yet, in spite of being notified of this, the police still arrested him, charged him with a DUI, and he's going to have to go through the court system, not to mention the fact that he had to spend approximately 14 hours in the jail. So this ends up presenting a few problems here. I have no problem with police actually enforcing laws that are in place to keep us safe, and also in reaction to a criminal act that requires investigation. Murder, rape, burglary, theft, things of that nature. As a matter of fact, most people would say that those are services that are, almost a thankless job for what the police are doing. But when it comes to the point where you have to charge somebody with something just because you had happened to be involved, that's where I start to draw a little bit of a line of what's going on. Now, many police departments, they're going to tell you we don't have quotas. We don't have, a system in place to make sure that we're charging X amount of offenses or giving out so many speeding tickets, things of that nature. But when somebody actually has done absolutely nothing wrong and they're still charged with a crime, that tells me that there is a system in place where somebody's got to be at fault because, hey, I was called out here. And I have to meet certain obligations. If it were me, as the mayor, as the police chief, or the governor, I would be directing law enforcement to enforce the law. Now, if the law states that, driving under the influence is wrong, so be it. But once that blood work, once that breathalyzer, whatever have you, comes back clean, there's no charge. They need to send you on your way. There should be no more court issues. There should not have to be any trial. Nothing of that nature needs to happen. I was also watching a video the other day where a gentleman was sitting on his front porch. He had forgotten his key and was waiting on his mom to come let him back in. Now, when the officers approached, there was a call from probably a passerby concerned that maybe there was somebody trying to break in or something like that. Okay, understandable, go check on the situation. So they went to check on the situation. The guy informed them, hey, I'm at my own house. He was properly identified. His identification showed that he did live at this residence. And yet they continued to hang around to ask questions to the point where he got frustrated. Now, at one point when he got frustrated, he stood up, and the next thing you know, he's being tackled by 2 police officers. Why did it escalate to that point? Why did they have to stick around? These are the kind of things that we need to start asking ourselves, because, when it comes to the safety of a community, no one's really going to argue. No one's going to say, hey, we can't have police officers out there, making sure that there's no crime going on. They did the right thing at the beginning. But when they continue to stick around just so that they can get something, that's where they are crossing the line. They're abusing their authority, and something needs to be said. These are the kind of things that need to change in the United States. Now, running for federal office, I'm not going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot. There's not much that I can do to mandate or require a local police department to update their policies and procedures. Now, what I can do is I can work with the local legislatures, with local governors, with local mayors, to talk with them about the need to ensure that we have that community of trust. And so that's really what I would be doing as a federal legislator in regards to what is perceived as abuse of authority. And so ultimately, we need to be the ones that are starting to speak up about this kind of stuff and really let people know what's going on. It's time that we take those kinds of stands, because right now there's a large mistrust between the communities and the police that are serving them. And the reason why is because of incidences like these. This individual that I personally know getting arrested for a DUI when he had absolutely nothing in his system. The eye tick on the field sobriety test was caused by a medical condition that's well documented. I mean, I don't even understand why they're going to try to prosecute this, because it's going to be something that's thrown out. And in the case of the gentleman sitting on the porch, once you identify that there's not a situation, thank you for your time. We were just concerned. You have a nice day. Move on. These are the kind of things that need to start happening in police departments, and we need to be the ones vocalizing this. So I ask each one of you guys out there that when you see something of this nature, that you speak up, that you say something, and that you let people know that you support policies for police reforms. No one is going to rag on you about being anti-police when you sit there and you say, hey, this happened, this was wrong, and this needs to change. Because the facts are, it was wrong. There were rights violated in both of these incidences. There was the person that I know who was wrongly arrested, who was wrongly imprisoned, and now has to face a lengthy trial procedure. And then on the case of the gentleman sitting on the porch, all he was doing was sitting on the porch of his own house. So we need to start looking at these kind of things. We need to start vocalizing. We need to understand that things have got to change. We have to respect everyone's rights. And so I'm asking you guys to continue to support my efforts. You can go to www.craigforcongress.org and check it out. I also run a group called Citizens for Police Reform. And these are the kind of issues that we're talking about on there. And I'd encourage you guys to all go there, and you can find it on Facebook. And give it a like. Share the stuff that we're talking about. We're some of the ones that are pushing for things like body cameras, ending the 1033 program at the federal level. We're pushing for citizen review boards whenever there's an incident involving escalation of force by police. Things of that nature are what we're trying to do. We understand that there's got to be a community partnership between the people who live in a neighborhood and the police. And we're trying to bring about community-oriented policing. We're not anti-police by any means. But please go there, check us out, and let us know what you think. And please do be vocal, be active, get involved. Let people know that, hey, we need to do something about this. When you see these kind of issues happen, let somebody know. If you stay silent, you give your consent. So don't stay silent on these issues. Thank you.